What's up, family? Trail here, and today we want to talk about multiple regular checks and some stimulus checks. Some of them went out this week, and we just received word from President Biden that the other checks should arrive within the next 2 weeks. So I want to share that information with you today. Also, these particular checks are going to benefit millions of Americans who are eligible to receive one. However, the amount of them could vary from person to person. But anyways, in addition to that, the economy is showing signs of growth right now, and the Treasury Secretary says that she doesn't believe that we will actually enter into a recession. Perhaps she was a little bit confused when she made that statement. And last but not least, we do have a small piece of good news regarding the war in Ukraine. I've got the details to share with you today, but in the meantime, you already know what to do. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and start with the video. Well, guys, we just received the latest reports in regards to the GDP. And yes, the U.S. GDP actually accelerated about 2.6% according to the pace that was reported for the third quarter. Now, this was reported as being better than expected as growth turns positive overall. But gross domestic product rose around 2.6% in the third quarter versus the estimate of around 2.3%. A narrowing trade deficit and increases in consumer spending and government outlays boosted the numbers. And also, guys, a sharp pullback in the housing subtracted from the number, part of the broader decline in private investments. But anyways, consumer spending decelerated, increasing at just a 1.4% pace in the quarter, the third quarter that is, down from the 2% that was reported in the second quarter. Now, on paper, guys, this does look like some very good news for the economy as well as the United States, especially as we are in the process of entering into this recession. However, guys, this pretty much shows a sign clearly that spending has not stopped, which is the main reason as to why the Fed continues to raise interest rates. He wants to drive down the price of inflation. And yes, in order to do that, he has to get people to stop spending. But looking at these reports from the third quarter, it pretty much shows that the economy and people are still spending money. They're still buying things that they want. And yes, guys, this is definitely the opposite of what the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell wants to see, in which we do have some latest information from the Fed Chairman, in which they are expected to raise interest rates again sometime next month. Now, the official date of when we are going to receive this information is on November the 2nd, so you definitely want to be mindful of that and mark your calendars. But yes, guys, it says right here that the Fed is likely to hike interest rates by 75 basis points sometime in November. Now, Federal Reserve officials are working on introducing another 75 basis points rate hike in the upcoming meeting that is going to happen on November the 2nd, according to the latest reports by the Wall Street Journal. And again, guys, like I said, this information that has been reported on the third quarter of the U.S. GDP showing good growth. Yes, I mean, in a good economy, that is some great news. However, considering that the Fed Chairman is trying to drive down inflation right now, yes, these numbers are not good. It means that he'll probably have to raise the interest rates again in November, as well as continue to raise them even moving towards December and maybe even January, which, guys, like I told you in the last video, what does this mean? Well, it means that the Fed Chairman is going to force the United States into a recession. That's the only thing that can happen, guys, because they want to stop the spending. So anyways, guys, that is the latest information on that. But we did get a little bit of a peek from the Treasury Secretary. And as you can see right here, guys, she may not even have a clue right now. Yes, we did hear from the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, in which she put out a statement yesterday saying that, look, I don't even see signs of a recession. Guys, what is she looking at? I mean, clearly, guys, we all see it. We see it in every different data point out there. But yes, guys, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on Thursday said that she does not see signs of a recession after the Commerce Department released data showing the economy rebounded in the third quarter of this year. And she was speaking with CNN's Erin Burnett, in which Yellen said that what we're seeing right now is solid growth this particular quarter, talking about the third quarter in the economy and in the low unemployment across the workforce. She said in a statement that, look, it's very natural that growth would slow down, and it has over the first 3 quarters of this year, but it continues to be okay, she said. She also said that, look, we have a very strong labor market. I don't see signs of a recession in this economy at this particular time. So again, guys, I ask you, what is she looking at? I mean, everything out there, from inflation, the price of goods and services increasing, the gas prices, the war in Ukraine, these stock prices plummeting. Everything, guys, everything is showing that we are pretty much entering in a recession, if not already in a recession. So, guys, I mean, we don't know necessarily whether to listen to Janet Yellen at all, because she is clearly out of touch, guys. But anyways, moving on to some other news. Hey, Elon Musk, he finally completed the purchasing the social media company Twitter. And yes, guys, he has taken over, and he also fired some of the top executives. So yes, guys, Elon Musk officially owns Twitter after closing the deal by a court imposed on the Friday deadline, which is today, according to multiple outlets, ending a 6-month journey over his controversial $44 billion acquisition. Now, CNBC first reported Thursday evening that Musk had taken control of Twitter, and the company's CEO, Parag Agrawal, and Chief Financial Officer Ned Siegel had left and would not be returning. And multiple outlets reported that both of those individuals, along with other Twitter executives, were fired. Yes, guys, these particular people lost their jobs as well as lost their salaries. However, they did have a golden parachute. I mean, they were receiving anywhere between $55 million up to $75 million to be fired from running the company of Twitter. So again, guys, I'm sure that they are not sad at all. They are probably somewhere drinking some lattes right now. But anyways, guys, yes, the merger of the purchase of Twitter has now been officially granted to the CEO, Elon Musk, guys. So yes, guys, look at this tweet right here, in which he tweeted somewhere around 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is around 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. He tweeted right here, guys. He said, "The bird is freed. The bird is freed." And for some of you that don't necessarily know what that means, well, the logo for the company Twitter is a blue bird. And yes, he pretty much stated that the bird is freed. He has freed the bird to go on and be successful here thereafter. But anyways, guys, I thought that was just interesting, and I wanted to share it with you. But moving on, we do want to go ahead and talk about a little bit of a good news in regards to the war in Ukraine. Yes, we know that this was an unprovoked war by the Russian President, Vladimir Putin. And yes, guys, Putin said a statement earlier this week. He said, look, it doesn't make any sense for me to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. It doesn't make any sense at all. Now, I beg the question, what are you talking about, Putin? Because you have been threatening multiple times for multiple months on that you were prepared to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. But now you have switched your mind. You have flip-flopped like President Biden. Well, that is exactly what has happened. Russian President Vladimir Putin denied that he would conduct a nuclear strike in Ukraine, saying on Thursday that it doesn't make any sense for us to do that at all. But so far, Putin has deployed some nuclear threats several times in the past few months. His remarks come just a day after Putin oversaw the start of annual drills of Russia's strategic nuclear forces. So yes, guys, in the recent weeks have brought heightened fears about Russia's claims that Ukraine plans on detonating a dirty bomb on its own territory, which the United States and Ukrainian officials have denied altogether. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to let you know that, because this could be some very good news, because it actually affects the United States, because the United States was already being prepared to go ahead and attack Russia if they use any type of nuclear weapons in Ukraine. But it sounds like that Putin is now rethinking those particular options and changing his mind and saying that it has no benefit in using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. So hopefully, guys, this news does stand, and hopefully Putin does not want to necessarily use any type of nuclear weapons moving forward. And hopefully he go ahead and end this war, guys. It makes no sense. But anyways, guys, that is just the latest on the war in Ukraine. But moving on to some stimulus update news, because we just received word from President Biden. Yes, guys, President Biden is now predicting that the student loan forgiveness checks will go out within the next 2 weeks. So yes, guys, these are not necessarily stimulus checks, but they are some checks for the American people, which we know that millions of Americans right now have some form of student loan debt, in which This new student loan forgiveness plan from President Biden is going to wipe away between $10,000 and up to $20,000, depending on what type of grants or student loans that you actually have. So again, guys, that is the latest information that we have on President Biden, in which he predicted on Thursday that the court fight over the student loan forgiveness program would quickly be resolved and that borrowers would soon see the refunds materialize. He said in a statement, look, we're going to win that case. I think in the next 2 weeks, you're going to see those checks going out to millions of Americans. And yes, guys, this is the statement that he put out on Thursday. Now, we do know from past history, we can't necessarily believe President Biden. However, this is something that he actually steamrolled to fruition and actually getting approved. And we are going to go with the assumption that this information is actually true this particular time. But anyways, guys, if you have student loans out there, hey, this is some huge news, as well as up to $10,000 and up to $20,000 being wiped away from your credit. So guys, this is some very positive news, and hopefully we get this thing resolved and those individuals that have student loans will actually get some of that money wiped away clean, a clean slate, guys. This is going to help millions of Americans. But also, guys, in regards to stimulus update news, we do have some information right here in which individuals are cashing in on some direct payments worth up to $1,050. And these will start going out to millions of Americans in days. And yes, guys, this particular article is just a couple of days old, but these particular direct payments went out this week to those individuals in the state of California. They are saying right here that a new batch of relief checks worth up to $1,050 will head out to millions of Americans by the end of this week. And here we are, guys. It is Friday. That means checks are still going out as of today. But anyways, currently California is sending out its first tranche of tax rebates in the form of $1,050. The Franchise Tax Board said payments will be issued in phases, which will depend on how you filed your taxes. And for example, if you filed electronically in 2020 and received a state tax refund by direct deposit, you will also receive the middle class tax refund by the same method of direct deposit. The first group of rebates will be for residents who got the first or the second round of the Golden State stimulus payments via direct deposit. And these checks are going out from October the 7th to Tuesday, October the 25th. And yes, guys, those who aren't set up for direct deposit and got the Golden State stimulus payments by debit card last year will receive debit cards in the mail between October the 25th and December the 10th. So yes, guys, the direct deposits have already gone out and still going out at the end of this week, as well as the debit cards are also going out. Those started going out earlier this week as well, which they will continue to go out through December the 10th. And anyways, guys, the rest of the direct deposit payments will then go out from Friday, October the 28th to November the 14th. So guys, these are the specific dates in regards to when these California stimulus checks for the middle class tax refund rebates are going out to millions of Americans in the state of California. Again, guys, be on the lookout for these, because if you don't have direct deposit set up, these debit cards are going to be arriving in the mail. So you definitely want to be mindful if you see a random envelope in your mailbox that you are not necessarily expecting with nothing pretty much on the envelope, because they're not going to say stimulus payments or economic impact payments. They are pretty much going to be blank. But guys, pay attention to this mail, because you don't want to necessarily throw the envelope away. We saw where during the first stimulus check and the second stimulus check, a lot of Americans were throwing these envelopes in the trash because they were not aware that the stimulus checks would be coming in a blank white envelope. But not you guys, because you watch Budget Bill, and these particular debit cards are going to be arriving in probably some plain white envelopes as well. So be mindful of that, guys. But anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today, and I hope this information was helpful to you. Well, anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. But feel free to check out some of the links down below, because there are many ways that you can receive some free money. $30 from Rakuten, 12 free stocks from Webull, as well as some other platforms that are offering free money. So you definitely want to check those out. Those links will be down below. But anyways, hey, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.